Hello, everyone, and with San Diego Comic Con coming right around the corner, that means it's time for the Funko Company to release their own Funko Pops for the convention. Everyone's kind of looking out and seeing which ones would they want, and lots of different variety with these. So that's what's so interesting about Funko is just the variety and rights that the company owns. So anyone can get into Funko Pops based on what they like. But anyway, I've been looking through my collection of pops and I soon realized something. For the past few months, they've been remaking some of their older pops into a newer, fresher look. And that made me think of a video to make, which is my top 15 best Funko Pop remakes. And this is more on the biggest improvement, not what just looks the best compared to the others. I'm talking about which one made the biggest improvement from the original, just to make things a bit more fair. And this list will be a bit opinionated, so take this with a grain of salt or whatever you want to say. But before I get onto the list, here's a couple honorable mentions. This is the pop that prompted me to make this video, but the new Dark Phoenix pop is easily better than the old one. But if you look at the old one, it doesn't look that bad. It's too basic. It's in a pose besides the hand going out. And compared to the new one, they added more gold, so it's not just yellow. The hair looks more crazy. She looks more intimidating, so the new one is just easily better. If I knew they were gonna make these, I wouldn't have gotten the old Buddy the Elf pop because the new one easily looks much better. Like if you look at the old one, it's kind of lazy because they just took the Hermie body and made it green instead of blue, but the head is easily different. But with the new one, you can easily tell that it's Will Ferrell if you just looked at the head with his crazy curly hair. So I just wish I knew that they made new ones in time before I got the old one, because I want the new one instead of the old one now. To round up the honorable mentions will be the new Spider Man, and you might say, oh, it's just him from the new movie. But if you look at the old one, he looks alright, but it's, again, just kind of basic, though he was kind of the best looking out of the older Marvel pops, or one of the best looking. So with this new one, they're keeping this design like they've made other Spider Man pops with this design, so it's not just the Homecoming movie. But yeah, this one's easily better, mostly for the face, like the eyes. Like, if you look at the old one, it's false advertising for first, but second, it just doesn't look all that good. But with this one, it's much better and more like his original design. And now, finally, onto the list. This one might seem weird because you might say that I'm cheating, but I'm going with Gollum from Lord of the Rings because I'm comparing him to Gollum from The Hobbit, comparing these two back to back, and you might say those two are different movies, but were they different in both movies? Like, correct me if I get this information wrong, but I think the new one instantly looks better because they could perfect the hair more, the gross skin, the mouth even. It just looks more like Gollum and how creepy he is. But the other one's kind of creepy too, and it kind of worked back then, but there's no doubt that this new one is instantly much better. For number 14, I put Wreck-It Ralph from Ralph Breaks the Internet. If you didn't know this, they made pops for the first Wreck-It Ralph movie when it came out, and with Ralph, he looks kind of cute, but he really doesn't look like a pop, which was probably an issue with the old Wreck-It Ralph pops. So I'm so glad they redesigned him for the new one because he easily looks more like a pop. The hair was crazy in the old one, but they could do a better job with the new one, and Best of all, they got his body size right. Like, his body looked kind of awkward in the old Pop, so of course they could make him look better for the new movie. Now, with this one, I'm putting the Michael Keaton Batman for Batman's 80th anniversary, and I'm comparing it to the repaint for the GameStop Black Friday box. And you might say it's not fair because the old Batman was more of a repaint than anything, though I will count it because technically this is the third Michael Keaton Batman we got. The first two were repaints, and this one's a completely new mold, so they perfected the mask more, they perfected the cape, the suit, and it just instantly looks much better than the old one. So yeah, I'm counting it for this list. Next, I have Woody from Toy Story 4. They did make one for the 20th anniversary of Toy Story back in 2015, but I'm comparing it to the original. And if you look at it, it's kind of goofy because if you look at his face, it looks kind of big. Like his eyes are kind of short. Like if you look on the box, just looks really awkward. So, and of course they make his face big for the new one, but they did it better on evening it out. And if you look in the vest, they give him more of a cowskin vest, so it's more accurate. So it just, yeah, that's basically it. It just looks better. Now, this one came in a two pack, so I don't know what's so special about this kind of Buffy, but compared to the original, she does look kind of weird, though I do like the hair a bit, but with the new one, it's much more like a pop. It's kind of like Wreck It Ralph, where the original doesn't really look like a pop compared to the new one. So the new one looks really good. They got the hair, the body pose, the steak, and it just looks better. Now, this is another Buddy the Elf situation where if I knew they were going to make this new Captain Jack Sparrow, I wouldn't have the original one in my collection still. And the original, he looked all right, looks really cute because that's what pops are supposed to do, but if I knew they were going to make this new one, I would have gotten that one instead. Even the original one, like I didn't know they were going to make that one either. So with this one, it's much better because I really like the big jacket outfit over the one where it's the white shirt and the bandana. But the original did have some detail on it, but of course, with the new one, they could add a lot more detail than before to show off more effort and more accuracy to the original Captain Jack Sparrow. Next up, I have Sonic the Hedgehog, and he looks really good. And compared to the older one, I find it kind of passable from when this was released back in like 2011, 2012, because Sonic was the second games series. The first one was Plants vs. Zombies, but this Sonic looked alright, especially for the old Funko Pops, but this new one is easily better because, first off, they perfected the eyes more. They kind of gave it a goofy situation where it's big white eyes with black pupils, and they perfected that. Besides that, I feel like his body's thinner, it's also longer, and the ears and the head look better, so this one just easily beats the old one. Next up is Jimi Hendrix, and of course, people are like, there's never been a Jimi Hendrix pop before. Yes, there was, though it was called Purple Haze. Maybe they didn't have the rights to the Jimi Hendrix experience yet, so they just called it Purple Haze. And I can remember when the old music pops had the eyes closed, and now that they got the rights to the Jimi Hendrix experience, they could finally perfect it more, and they really knocked it out of the park. And I do prefer the Monterey Pop Fest one, where it's him burning the guitar, but in terms of comparing old to new, I'm gonna go with the Common because it looked closer to the old one. But of course, I feel like since they now had the rights to the Jimi Hendrix experience, they could put a whole lot more effort into making it as accurate as possible. And of course, they nailed it. Going back to the rocks, I have the new Kiss Pops. Like, I'll show you the old ones, and they don't look that bad. Besides being in just a generic pop pose, they look pretty alright. Though, when you compare it to the new ones released this year, they instantly are superior to the old ones because they added a lot more detail on the outfits. They showed off more their crazy side because Kiss is more of a crazy band, so they get time to show off more of their crazy sides than just their outfits and face paint. I mean, Gene Simmons with the flame, and the Catman with the drum set, Paul Stanley with the lips. I feel like this is the first pop to ever come with a drum set. Like, they're making the police, and that guy's coming with a drum set, but I feel like this is the first one, which is actually pretty cool that they're gonna do. But yeah, the new Kiss is instantly better than the old Kiss. Now, with this, I own both the old and the new, and that is Darth Vader from Star Wars. Now, if you look back, Darth Vader was the first Star Wars pop to be made. It's number one, and he looked alright. I mean, the mask, of course, looks really goofy, but with the new one, they could accurately make it like the movies. And I'd compare it to both the Bespin and the Rogue One Darth Vader. Those masks, they nailed perfectly. So, kind of like with Spider Man, they're keeping this design, which I'm happy for that because, of course, it's more accurate. So, yeah, this new Darth Vader instantly looks better, mostly because they perfected the helmet. Now, this is a weird one, but I'm going with Goofy from Kingdom Hearts, and you're kind of thinking, they didn't make Kingdom Hearts before this one. No, they didn't, but they did make Goofy, and look at him. He's really weird looking. Like, if you look at his face, his eyes have this imprint outline, and if you look at the Goofy now, you could tell that if they whitened out those parts and made the dot eyes black, they would actually pull it off, but no, it just looks like that and it's kind of awkward. Also, his hands look really big and he looks short. So, with this Goofy, they make him really tall and slender like he actually is, and I bet if they make the normal Goofy like with Mickey and Friends, he'll have that same design as the Kingdom Hearts one and he'll really look good. So, yeah, this new Goofy instantly looks better. Now going back to Wreck-It Ralph, I put Vanellope from Ralph Breaks the Internet. And if you look at the old Vanellope, she's instantly the worst looking. Like, she just looks so terrible. Like, it almost doesn't look like a pop to me. Like, the head shape is kind of weird and her face is kind of weird, but it's so good. It just feels so good that they improved it for the new movie. Like, of course, they got candy in her hair, but I feel like it's done a bit better here with more detail and the head shape and the dresses looked alright, but the old one, she's so small you can't see her legs. Here, they reveal more of her legs to make her in a pose, so yeah, I can just easily say that this new Vanellope is much, much better. For the number three spot, I put Carnage, and they did make an old Carnage, but it's super lazy because if you look at this Hot Topic Carnage, they took the Walgreens exclusive Venom and repainted it with Carnage's colors. Like, did Carnage even have the tongue a lot? Like, when I see the tongue, I think of Venom more, but with this new Carnage, thank God they like remade him to be a lot more accurate to the original Carnage. The creepy smile, the sharp teeth, the eyes, the red and black body, it just looks much better than the lazy attempt Funko originally did. For number two, I put Chewbacca. Now, this Chewbacca is supposed to represent The Force Awakens, but I put this one because compared to the old one, again, he's kind of ugly looking, like the weird teeth, the simple pose. It just looks like a man in a costume and not just a hairy beast. Like, I know Chewbacca really was a man in a costume, but I feel like Funko should, like, make it look like a literal, like, creature. And with the new one, they did a much better job. They added more shaggy hair. The teeth look like real sharp Chewbacca teeth. Even the gun and the thing he wears across his chest looks much better. So yeah, this new Chewbacca just looks much better than the old one. For my number one greatest Funko Pop redesign, it's kind of a weird choice, but I'm going with Stephen Curry. Now, I'm not a sports fan or a basketball fan, but I know who Stephen Curry is. He's kind of like one of the most popular basketball players of our time. Like around this time, he's very popular and he looks all right. But if you look at the old one, it has got to be one of the worst Funko Pops I have ever seen. Like, the eyes look way too big, his beard looks like a mouth, it's just way too high, and then his hair looks really lazy, like they just spray painted it. It's almost like that Shane Walsh pop everybody hated. So, looking at this new one, you could say, oh, this is just a redesign because it's been years and he looks different. But they conveyed it much better. For one thing, they actually gave him hair. And the second thing, they actually gave him space between his mustache and his beard to not form a mouth because Funko rarely does mouths, but at least they don't make his beard look like his mouth. So it's so easy to say that I feel like Stephen Curry had the greatest redesign of any Funko Pop that I've mentioned. And that's my list for my top 15 favorite Funko Pop redesigns. Now, yeah, I know this was kind of a weird video, and I'm sorry for the way I sound. I'm kind of sick. That's why I wasn't making a video for a long time. But since it's the summer, I'm going to try to motivate myself to make a whole lot more. And if you want more Funko related videos, comment below saying that you do, because I have a collection of 120 plus Funko Pops right in front of me. So if you want more Funko Pop related videos, comment below. If you like this video, you can leave a like, subscribe for more content. Comment below what your favorite Funko redesign is, like not from my list, but just ever. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.